Bobby Ferguson's attorney, Mike Rataj, along with our 7 legal analyst, Tom Cranmer, join us now on what transpired today in court. I mean, Mike, let's start with you. Got to be a disappointing day. I mean, you've been so passionate. We've been listening to you in and out of court. How do you feel? What do you say to your client?
Well, to answer your first question, we're disappointed. Obviously, we put a lot of work into it, and we laid it all on the line every day, and we were out there defending our clients' constitutional rights, and that's what we're paid to do.
Now we saw a confidence on the part of Bobby Ferguson and Kwame Kilpatrick specifically over the course of this trial, and today it just looked, at least for Kwame Kilpatrick, like it fell apart. Bobby Ferguson still maintained quite a bit of composure. I mean, I'm sure you do, you're an attorney. You believe you're going to win this thing, but they were so convinced of that.
Well, I mean, why get up in the morning and show up for court if you think you're going to lose? Every morning I get up and I show up for any of my clients I think I'm going to win, and there was no difference in this case. So again, I'm disappointed. I'm a little surprised by some of by the verdict in part, but it is what it is. We work in this system, we believe in the system, and we have to accept the verdicts that juries come up with in our cases, and that's life.
I've got to tell you, we followed this case closely, as you know. Our investigator, Heather Cataldo, and Ross Jones, they were in court every day. I remember talking to Heather day in and day out, and she would always say, well, the prosecution did a great job today, and then she'd come right back behind it and say, but the defense did a great job, poking holes and putting doubt into the minds of the jurors. I mean, what happened?
I don't know. I mean, you have to ask the jurors. Like I say, they're the ultimate arbiters of the facts, and they issued the verdict that they issued, and we have to live with that. Of course, we have other moves to make down the road here, but for today, it's a tough pill to swallow.
Tom Cranmer is with us right now. Tom, attorney to attorney, maybe you can see that question you'd like to ask, and I know attorneys don't like to pick each other's cases apart, but what is it you would like to ask Mike about this trial and the way he approached it?
Well, I don't know if it's so much a question as it is a compliment. I think the lawyers on both sides did an excellent job, and you really pointed that out, Carolyn, that we saw day after day that the prosecution called certainly a great number of witnesses and presented their side, but it wasn't just that side. The defense lawyers were there getting the full story, if you will, and ultimately, of course, it was the jury's decision to make, and they made it.
And Tom, we've talked to you about this as well. I mean, with Kwame Kilpatrick going into court, Bernard Kilpatrick going into court, and Bobby Ferguson going into court, they all seemed so confident, and it seems like Kwame Kilpatrick's demeanor didn't change, at least according to our reporters, until the verdict started being read, and then his mouth dropped open, and then during that bond hearing, he just sort of fell apart.
And I think it was the weight of the day, the moment, everything kind of coming together probably that was impacting him, I would think. And but as Mike said too, as you're going into a trial, to an extent it's a battle, and you have to go in with a confident air. You go in believing that you can be successful, and I think we saw that on both sides, both the prosecutors and their witnesses and the defendants and their defense lawyers.
We're here with Bobby Ferguson's attorney, Mike Rataj. And Mike, also today it was a surprise, actually, a lot of people that they were not given bond. It's a little unusual in federal cases that they're not violent criminals, and normally they're given bond, but yet these two guys handcuffed and whipped out of there.
Well, I don't want to comment on that because obviously there's still some things that are going to happen down the road here, and I don't want to talk about that, but I think your comments are right on. I've represented a lot of people in 24 years in federal court, and people that were charged with more heinous crimes, if you will, and were given bond, but the judge made the decision that she made, and we have to respect that, but we're not done, challenging that decision. So
the former executive of the FBI who ran the office from 2004 to 2007 said clear as day on our air that he felt Kwame Kilpatrick might be a flight risk because he has nothing to lose at this point. Do you totally disagree with that?
Well, of course. Where's he going to go? Okay, the man's 6'5". Everybody knows who he is. He's got a GPS tether on his ankle, and there's certainly other measures that the court could have taken in terms of ensuring that they weren't going to be flight risks. They're certainly not dangerous to the community, and like I say, where are they going to go?
Mike Rataj, thank you very much for stopping by. I know it's been a tough day for you after a long few months, so we thank you for coming on in.
I appreciate it. Thank you very
sir.
much. Yes, sir.